Sledhead 24/7 is brought to you by Skidoo, better rides, better riders. By Motorfist, rugged by design. By Motorsports Plus, serving Minnesota and Wisconsin for more than 20 years. And by Arctic Cat, share our passion.
Welcome back to Sled-Ed 24/7. I'm your host, Misha Johnson, and we are still here at Century Power Sports in beautiful Stillwater, Minnesota. Now, if there's one thing we know, snowmobile fans are very loyal to their brand of choice, not only because of the features they like, but because of the history. And speaking of history, it's time to take a ride with Skidoo.
Over the years, Skidoo has earned the right to the top of the podium. From cross country to oval racing and snowcross. A peek into the video vault at the Bombardier Museum reveals a classic story. The fastest sled wins, gets all the glory, and a kiss from a pretty girl. Easy to see why riders want to relive the glory days on a vintage Skidoo.
They're just entertaining and fun to ride.
They run good, easy to work on.
I grew up on a 78 Skidoo Everest. Used to pancake the ditches around our house every chance I got.
Vintage Skidoo fans come together each year on a frozen lake that's frozen in time. It's billed as the world's largest vintage event, and for more than 20 years, they've been gathering on Lake Waconia in Minnesota. Part swap meet and part ice drags, it's also a place to swap stories about the beloved Skidoo.
No brakes. No brakes. You got to drag your feet. Doesn't go fast enough to need them. That's the truth.
Put your feet up to slow them down. They didn't go very fast.
If you got too close, you'd get right up against the throat of the carburetor there, and it would flood it out, and it'd go boom.
Yeah, sometimes your colt would get sucked into the carburetor. The one my dad had that problem. If you'd get leaning too far forward, it'd suck in, but you learn to ride just a little farther back.
Every Skidoo sled has a story and a nickname to go with it.
I like the old bubble noses. I think they got a good look.
Yellow bellies.
I call them the yellow submarines.
Mustard buckets, yeah. They had several names for them.
But the old mustard bucket still can roar.
It's a 1974 Skidoo Elan 294 SF. We're hoping to hit 50. I enjoy it. I mean, looking around, everybody enjoys it. It's a good time.
The need for speed never gets old. These vintage Skidoos blast off the line as if they were built last week, not in the last century.
It's a 1980 Skidoo Blizzard 5500, 503 fan motor. We're hoping to run around 70, 72 mile an hour today. I've always liked the color yellow and black, I guess. I've always been kind of hooked on it. I've always been, once I rode a Skidoo, I guess I couldn't get off.
Vintage Skidoos are one way riders keep the memories alive for the next generation and beyond.
Because they're a piece of history and they're fun to work on.
And on one weekend in January, it's a chance for a ride back to the future.
How about you? Any history with Skidoo?
You know, I'm going to date myself a little bit, but I did cut my teeth on Skidoo. 67 Olympic when I was 5 years old. Had an aluminum carb manifold stuck right out in your chest. It was prehistoric, but it just shows the innovation that they've gone and over the years. Now we look at our new E-Tex and our R-Motion suspensions with Skidoo. Tough to beat.
Oh, they are tough to beat. Robbie Malinowski, perfect example.
That is for sure.
All right, well, that's all the time we have for this edition of Sled-Ed 24/7. I'm your host, Misha Johnson, along with Jeff Fisher and Paul Mack. Paul, wherever you are, we hope you're behaving yourself. Make sure to visit us online at sled-ed24-7.com for extended versions or maybe some things that didn't make the cut. All right, well, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.
On the next edition of Sledhead 24/7, we'll unveil sled-x. Our season-long build at Speedworks is finished, and our lucky contest winner gets to test ride a one-of-a-kind sled built by Jeremy Houle. And we'll preview some of the 2013 sleds. Just wait till you see what's new. All that and more next week on Sledhead 24/7.